Namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions, to the power of light. It's already holy, whole, and complete. Jesus it was really funny this morning, right before this. He was giving me the picture of a dartboard. You know, every time you say no to him, you're choosing to be a dartboard, you know. You know, getting all the owies, sending them out and pretending like you don't know how they got out there, and you're going, ow, ow, ow. And how much there's a deep the desire is to be a dartboard with all the stings and the, you know, who would stand in front of a dartboard trying to catch darts? I guess a few beings, but you know where you end up catching them. It's pretty funny. Except it's not funny until you see that's true. And he's really bringing you into the mind this morning. I think we contemplate every morning with Jesus so he can show us where those desires are to say no and say yes to the ego, to really not want happiness in any way, shape, form, not a smidgen of it, really. Because the ego believes it's really happy. See, does the ego pretend like it's happy? It's a pretend of happiness, but it's pleasure and pain on a stick. Until we see it. You know, and I've asked him, and he says again, we have to say no to the ego. You cannot accept divine power until you see you have the power to say no to that. No to not following the voice for God. Even, I mean, every part of you will object at times. No, no, triple no, quadruple, no, and then it will be like, it's like a cloud of fire coming and of all the reasons and the wherefores and the whys and the if-thens and tomorrow will be a better day. And I can just go this once, Jesus. You know, and if I, and he'll still be with me. Yes, of course he'll still be with him, but you won't listen the next time either. That's the thing. That's how the ego plays. See how the ego takes whatever Jesus puts in the course, twists it to mean death. In a little slide under there, what belief makes it okay not to follow Jesus this time? It'll be the same the next time. Do you see? It's not just, he's still going to be with me. He's always with you. See that the light's always here. It's accepting that you're less than you are. We're accepting consciousness, how it plays. That's how the ego's trick is. I won't follow him now. It's going to be, oh, that's, I can tell I'm not going to follow him. See how that's a little trick. And again, he translates, I'm not going to follow Jesus. And see how it has a because. It's not about it's about seeing where we're saying no to infinite. And really, when you say, I'm not following Jesus now, you're saying, I want death now. That's what that is. It's just saying, I want death. And we have to see that and have him show us how that's the I want death. And how it's really usurping the power of God ourselves. Not wanting to be divine being whatsoever. And we need him to take us there and say, oh, you're so right. Like, you know, looking at how much a body is wanted more than God. The experience of body, and really looking at that with him, like, oh, you're so right. I do want a body more, way more. And he starts showing you how divine power is death, how that flip and that being divine, the way the ego makes being divine is death. But we can't see it till we really look with him and go, oh, you're right. Supreme power is death to me. Because it's death to the idea we have, but we want those concepts and ideas more than supreme power. And the experience is you just start to see anything whatsoever to avoid. I'd rather be a dartboard than have supreme happiness, basically, is what I thought. But until it's really looked at so fully, how he's bringing us all down to see where we don't want miracles. See, the consciousness will play with the course on the, yes, he's saying this, on the surface, see these little, oh, I got a little baby miracle there, you know, that's good. I can just go on with my day. It's like he's saying, you don't even know what peace of mind is. You have absolutely no idea. Really. Peace of mind sandwiched in between legions of hell. Because even though we can see and start every lesson with divine light of being infinite, we can see it. It's here. It's like a drive-by shooting, you know, just take a shot and go. You know, I'll take a little, yeah, this is nice. Okay, what's on for today? You know. That's the level of value we're placing on infinite light. Okay, well, all right. You can ask Jesus. He'll tell you. Nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. Till he shows us. It's very humbling. You think, oh, I'm getting somewhere. No, you're not. Jesus will show you. The eye can't get anywhere. The eye gets you straight to hell is where it takes you. And then you go, oh, it's really, oh, I like it down here. Until you really see how much you like hell. How it really, oh, with every bit of how much, you know, and really getting with them. I spend time with them on thought, you know, like, oh, I do, you know, you just start, oh, I want that thought. Oh, I like it. Until he shows me, like, I want thoughts more than God. That's it. But he's really showing the lightness of it. It's really light. It doesn't have to be heavy. Just see it directly. And this is such, you don't have any fear of looking with him anymore. You know, after you've been looking with him for a while, you see there's no fear in it. And you start to catch the little, the nose. As we've been talking about here, it seems like a little no up here, but it's a big, huge, massive iceberg of down there. No, that kind of no. Like a big screaming, I don't want to ever have it. Happiness ever, 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 ever. Anything but God, that this big iceberg under there. But when that energy of the iceberg, and he's showing you how to melt that iceberg, the light melts that. Then you're untouched by time. You see, you've always been untouched by time. That you're timeless in true nature. See, what is, you're no longer driving by what is to go to what was or what will be. That was nice. But Jesus, I like hell much better. And then the question comes up, okay, like, well, why would I like, see, you can't ask why questions. See, why are the death questions? Why would someone, it doesn't happen. See, that's why Jesus doesn't answer why. It's making what happened real. Just go, what do I need to see? And who, and what am I? Those two questions. I said, Jesus, those will get you all the way. He says, yep. He says, just ask me, as we're finding here in the joinings, how quick it is with our brother. And how free we are without the serpent's tongue. So here's Adam and here's Eve in the garden. Adam in the garden. This is how it plays. Okay. You know Seth MacFarlane from Family Guy? Have you ever seen him play all the parts? Maybe we can find that little clip from that. There's a British program he was on, and he just started talking all the parts from Family Guy. That's what was happening in the Garden of Eden, you know? Like, it was like, okay, it seems like it's Eve walking over the tree. She goes, hold on a minute, I got to go over and play the serpent. And then she turns around, okay, eat this apple. Okay, and she comes herself again, I'll eat this apple. And then I'll give it to Adam. And then she goes and plays Adam's role. See, we're playing all the roles because there's only one playing all the different roles. Playing all the different voices. Ask Jesus, is there just one playing all these different voices? Playing Scar, you better leave. Scar telling Simba he needed to leave. Simba playing Scar. See, that wasn't a different, that was Simba playing the serpent voice. You got to leave, you've done something wrong. So today we have, we'll find out how many ways we play like a dartboard today. Lesson 339, I will receive whatever I request. So if we request darts, there they are. That's how powerful the mind is. So Jesus is merely showing us where the requests are through desire. How desire is subconscious prayer for hell. It's the request. See, it's hidden, that hidden request for hell under there. No one desires pain, but he can think that pain is pleasure. No one would avoid his happiness, but he can think that joy is painful, threatening, and dangerous. So that's really helpful to look at. Let's just see. Jesus, do I believe that joy is painful? The joy of God is painful. See, that's like, you can just feel the energy of that. Okay. So I have it flipped, and you can hear him tell you, yes, you have it flipped. So I think joy is painful. That's why we avoid it at all possible costs. Jesus, do I want to avoid joy at all possible costs? Okay. Now you show me where I'm avoiding joy. See, because joy's the light, true nature. So if the ego takes it and flips it, and that's what it does when Jesus tries to tell you something to do that's truly joy, we can't even recognize it as joy. It registers as the enterprise pain shields up. See, I'm going to be attacked by love, so I got to put up the shields. That's the play. That's why you really have to be unerring about the light. Because of that, that's the only way that flip is going to get changed. The belief that what Jesus telling us, which is our joy, which is our true calling of our heart, where the ego's plan through our desire for it, the only way we can't be supremely happy is to believe that joy is painful. Infinite joy is painful. You can ask Jesus about that. And thus avoid it. See, just avoid divinity. Avoid, avoid, avoid. It has to make it be painful and frightening. But he can think that joy is painful, threatening, and dangerous. Let's see. Let's do honesty of God on joy. If Jesus, is there any desire for an experience that my true identity, joy, is threatening? Okay, will you help me see that another way? That's what he's offering, see, to help us see that we're confused. We've tried to confuse ourselves, our identity, so it makes our own identity feel threatening. It makes Jesus talking to us feel threatening. So it makes our own voice feel threatening. To keep the delusion alive, that the delusion itself is the salvation, that saying no to God is salvation. But he can think that joy is painful, threatening, and dangerous. Jesus, is infinite joy dangerous? Do I feel dangerous? He says that's why you don't want the atonement, because you've made joy in the natural state feel dangerous to you. See, that's why the ego screams bloody murder every time Jesus tries to, okay, give a suggestion. When he tries to eke one little suggestion. You can't even put a crack under the door for Jesus, you know. You can ask him if that's true. He'll tell you all about it. But it's the best news of all. Mm-hmm. because it's also the ego's plan to make it feel like there's no way out. And as soon as you start looking with them, okay, joy is painful. My natural state is painful. So I have a desire for pain more than my natural state. And here, am I addicted more to pain than natural state of joy? And he says, yes. And he's like, oh, okay, then you can go, you know, and he gives the, you can start to hear him. He like comes through. Wow. All righty. All righty. There's something for me to look at with them. See, you don't have to feel like he's taking us under guilt. See how that just takes you right? Not to feel guilty about it, because the guilt is the play not to look. Just see Jesus. See that light, does light have any interest in guilt whatsoever? Infinite light. It's like, but it's a reflex. You see, where you react into everything so quickly. We ping pong off of everything in consciousness through desire to be, for cause and effect, to be affected seemingly by form. So we can avoid looking to see that we believe joy is painful and pain is pleasure. That's why it's really helpful when you ask them to show you pain directly. Let's just get curious. You know, this is curiosity. I love that symbol he gave with the mimsy on the beach in that movie. They're just they're curious. We were watching that little movie last night, Abominable. And you just see the curiosity. It's just curiosity, pure curiosity. It was the wackiest little, all kinds of crazy things happening. But they stayed together and stayed true through it all. Seemingly about bringing a little Yeti home, but we're always home. It's just to see that we're home now. So that's really helpful. Jesus, will you show us how that flip is so we can release the hold, the maintaining that experience of joy as painful. See, that's ego grip. Jesus, I really haven't really shown you where joy is painful. Natural state is painful. That's just the desired experience for the natural state to feel painful so we can avoid it. Or dangerous. Because when you look at the light, just the light, is it dangerous? It's just here. That's just the excuse to drive on by. Walk on by, you know, you missed it. It's here all the time. Ask Jesus, is the light here all the time? So that in order to perpetuate the ego, our natural state has to feel threatening, or it's game over for the ego. Once you know there's no threat, it's a manufactured idea. It's a concept of threat. The threat does not actually exist. And it's really the hesitation where all the pain is. It's the hesitation of stepping forward and saying yes to Jesus. It's that hesitation. Should I do it? I don't know if I should jump on that little boat and go riding with the Yeti. Yeah, she's just off the pier. Just jumps the boat. See, she didn't this little character didn't go up, you know, and try to keep one leg on one pier, on the pier, and the other on the boat. There it is. We've talked about it, and it's exactly what happened. She didn't do that. She just went, going, bye. You got to jump on the Jesus boat with everything you have. You can ask him, Jesus, can this be a partial jump on with you? And hear what he says. It can be no partial. Do not underestimate the addiction to the gravitational feel of hell. The desire, the actual pleasure in hell. Ask him, Jesus. He'll tell you directly, do I derive pleasure from hell? And then want to complain about it to hide that I find pleasure in it. Everyone will receive what he requests. So that's all he's showing us, where the prayer is. It's like we're up here going, oh, I really want heaven. And underneath the subconscious mind, oh God, I want hell more than anything else. Do you see how I can't? Underneath lurking, want to keep the hell in place. I don't want to follow Jesus to keep hell in place. I want to say Jesus is not going to help me so I can keep hell in place. I want to say I don't want to be helped. And then say no one's helping me to keep hell in place. We keep hell in play because there's pleasure in hell. You can ask Jesus. You can look at any program. Yeah, I'm asking him. Any program on TV, I died and went to hell. And it was really dark and black. But if you really look at that conscious, because it's a movement in consciousness, because hell doesn't actually exist. That's how you know. But if you turn and look at that, even if you have a dream of hell, if you look at it, you'll see the pleasure in it. I'm asking, yes, it's the experience here as well. Getting pleasure out of usurp the power of God. Everyone will receive what he requests. Donna. Little shark moving under the subconscious mind. Then it seems to pop up. Because we desire it. See, that's where we're receiving the prayer. The prayer is hidden. The prayer for hell is hidden below the level of awareness. So we think we want peace. We think we want peace. See, the peace can be found in thinking. It's impossible. Peace, the only way peace can be found is following the one who knows. Our true voice. He can be confused indeed about the thing he wants. And you see, it's a desire for confusion under there. The state he would attain. What could he then request that he would want when he receives it? Let's read out the gut again. But he can be confused indeed about the things he wants. The state he would attain. Here's Jesus. Do I think I'm asking for heaven, but I'm really requesting hell? That's a deep one to look at. What can he then request that he would want when he receives it? That's what he's showing us. He has asked for what will frighten him and bring him suffering. That's really helpful to see how much suffering is desired experience, the pleasure in it, the abject pleasure in suffering. Like, who talks like this? Where do you go and talk about how much, the relishing of that pleasure of suffering? No one talks about that. That's what the ego would keep hidden. The pleasure in pain. The pleasure of getting sick, the relishing of watching a body die, the relishing of watching bodies die, and saying, oh, it's pain and I really feel guilty and I feel bad. No, it's the play to keep the belief in a body alive. As Jesus was showing me, the desire for a body more than God. What could he then request that he would want when he receives it? He has asked for what will frighten him and bring him suffering. Let us resolve today to ask for what we really want and only this, with the willingness to accept it. accept what Jesus gives us, all that we are given by the Father. Let us resolve today to ask for what we really want, and only this, that we may spend this day in fearlessness. I'm asking him about talking about the Jesus bargaining table. How much we really want to bargain with Jesus. Okay, but how about a little bit of this? You know, and he's not opposed to whims, quote unquote. Do you see? There's no desire to die. He's pointing to infinite everything, and that we don't know our best interests. You know, and even with Helen, again, the Ur text, very helpful because you could see how he would work with her. And he helped her go shopping for a coat. But it's really to point beyond the coat. It's to show that really God has our interests, even with simple things like a coat, very practical. And as he told her, I have a better use of time, so I'll take care of the practicalities. I'll take care of all that, but we have to turn them over to him. Do you see? And then follow when he tells us something. It's a suggestion. But when you're allowing what he tells you to be at the command, it's your command. It becomes the command because you're totally in line with the power of God. Death shall have no dominion. To say yes to what he tells you is to say yes to divine power. That's how come then he can arrange time and space. We don't want him. Ask him, Jesus, do I want you to arrange time and space for me? See the answer. Until he says, yes, you do, it's good to hang out with him. Because if we're not going to turn over to the most powerful offering for us, to take care of everything, to see that we're cared for by God. Let us resolve today to ask for what we really want, and only this, that we may spend this day in fearlessness. Let's just ask him, am I willing to spend a day in fearlessness? And then just think, am I going to listen to Jesus today and see any contraction? That's any contraction is the desire to experience being fearful. That's pretty absolute. He goes, yes, it's absolute. There are no exceptions. Without confusing pain with joy or fear with love. So let's ask him, Jesus, do I need you to show me the difference between love and fear? See how quickly that yes comes. And how confused I am about what fear is and what love is and what joy is, like how I'm really clueless about that. The indulgence, as he told me, indulging in the untrue. Father, this is your day. Is there any itch not to have this be the Father's Day? You can ask for a miracle, change the perception that anything other than Father's Day is every day. It is a day in which I would do nothing by myself. Jesus, will you show me how much I really like doing everything by myself? So I can ask for a miracle, change in perception that it's actually possible to do anything by myself without God. But hear your voice in everything I do. Requesting only what you offer me. Am I willing to request only what's offered by the Father? There's not 100% yes for that, and it's a great joining opportunity, Jesus says. Accepting only thoughts you share with me, only the thoughts of God. Amen. Much love.